I work as a janitor at Disneyland. I'm the only one that survived the mass murder. Did you know there's a second Disneyland hidden beneath the real one? Walt didn't like characters wandering into the wrong areas, so they built an underground mirror of the park. Every street, every ride, duplicated below. It keeps the magic alive, keeps things hidden. For 20 years, I've cleaned up every kind of mess you can imagine. And even as a janitor, we have rules. Stay in character. Never ask questions. It's easy when you realize we've been watching you from the moment you park. There are cameras everywhere, tracking you until you leave. I learned my place early. A couple approached me once, frantic, saying their daughter was missing. I led them straight to the office on Main Street, explaining how security would bring their child through the tunnels below. They'd have her back in no time. I opened the door for them, turned for just a second, then they were gone. The head of security appeared. His face was grim. I barely spoke before he cut me off. Everything is fine, Jake. The parents have been reunited with their son. It was a daughter. That's right, their daughter. Then he smiled. Take some time off, a little vacation. Ever been to Paris? They covered everything. Flights, hotel, expenses. But before I left, he added, could be longer than a week. I learned not to ask questions after that, like why our electric meters sometimes recorded massive spikes in energy overnight, or why chefs cooked hundreds of meals at night that no one ate. I ignored the yellow door in the tunnels under Fantasyland that made me dizzy every time I passed, and I followed the golden rule, get lost families out of sight. But 3 weeks ago, something changed. I was in the underground lounge, trying to forget the mess I'd just cleaned in the haunted mansion. A Mickey Mouse walked in, sat across from me, stared. I nodded. He didn't move. Then I realized he hadn't taken off his costume. No one stays in character off stage. My stomach turned as I searched for seams in the suit. There weren't any. Then the thing blinked, not the man inside. The oversized cartoon eyes moved, locked onto mine, and blinked. I ran, sprinting down the tunnels, lungs burning, but I heard it behind me. Heavy footsteps, too fast. I barely made it 100 yards before I collapsed, but it wasn't Mickey who caught up to me. It was security, and the tall, pale man in the gray suit beside him wasn't out of breath. Well, Jake, security said, calm as ever. How about a vacation to Australia this time? I didn't argue. I took the ticket, and then I started reading. Other Disney employees, people with stories like mine, had disappeared. And the people on my tour, they all had Disney connections. But none of us had booked this trip. Someone put us together. So I did what I always do. I disappeared, skipped the planned outing, and in doing so, I missed the ferry disaster 2 days ago. Now, I'm the only one left to tell this story, and I'm saying it loud and clear. I am never going back. Disneyland is hiding something, and their greatest trick, making you believe the magic isn't real.